Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, I guess, kind of mid morning. Where I am, it is very morning. So, yes, my name is Andrea, and I hope you guys all got a chance to check out my session. If not, I'll kind of talk briefly a little bit about it. Yeah, my name is Andrea. I am a teacher in Canada. I live on the more western side of Canada in a province called Alberta. So, not quite BC, just the next one over. And yeah, I've been a teacher now for 15 years. I have taught primarily junior high for us, which is grade 7, 8, 9. And I was teaching phys ed and social studies. And then last year, I just kind of subbed. I knew I needed a change, wasn't 100% sure what I needed and stuff like that. So I changed, and then I figured out I really enjoy kindergarten. So next year, I am going to be teaching kindergarten, which I am super happy about. I will be doing it part time, which is even more wonderful. Yeah, so I am super excited to be starting this kind of new venture pathway in my career this year. So yeah. Other things about me, I am a mom of two girls. I've been married for it'll be 20 years next month. And yeah, I just kind of all encompassed with having girls and stuff like that. I really wanted to change like the future narrative of like how girls and weight and all that kind of stuff coincide together. My mom had a very struggle with her weight all the time, and it's very much something that like stuck in my head as I was growing up with her and stuff like that, and it's very much things I remember about her now. She passed 3 years ago, but it just is like very much what I remember about her, like herself always calling her fat, and she was always like not in the best physical condition and kind of stuff, and it struggled with a lot of other things and put a lot of strain on her health and stuff like that. So I just wanted to start changing the narrative for my girls, and especially being a girls phys ed teacher, I wanted to change the narrative towards how girls started to see themselves and stuff like that, especially too with social media and all those wonderful platforms and what it is doing for girls' body image and stuff like that. So I've been kind of en route to this like super positive energy place and stuff like that. So yeah, so I started my fitness journey. I like to say, it's now 5 years ago. It was for my 40th birthday, which was 2 years ago. And I wanted to really just kind of like get my life back on track and stuff like that. And I had had babies, I had had nursing and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I need to start concentrating on me, because if I don't start doing it now, I probably will always say, oh, next time, next time, next time, next time. So it really was like taking ownership of my own um, life and my own narrative about what's going to happen for my future. So I hope I can't see if there is anybody in this watching me right now, or if there are any comments. Maybe I need to go here. Comments. Hello. Yes. Hello, Rose. There's one. Sorry I was late. Um, yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything regarding right now. Hello, Brittany. I'm glad. Okay, so everybody can hear me. Everybody heard my spiel, all that kind of stuff. I was on the wrong thing. Hi, Carolyn or Caroline. I'm not sure which one it is. Sorry. That's me when I teach, and I'm like, which way do I say it? I missed the very first part. That's okay, Rose. I was like a little bit late anyway, so I can reintroduce myself a little bit. We'll just kind of see if there's other people joining here in the next minute or two. I probably should have waited a little. It's just been that kind of morning this morning already. So yeah, I'll just kind of introduce myself if you have any questions or anything. So I'm Andrea. I am a teacher in Canada. And over the last like 5 years, if you will, I've really started taking ownership on my own health and wellness because I know that if I don't take care of myself, nobody else will. And I feel that that is something that us as women and as teachers and as moms, we kind of have that really struggle of like balance of like, okay, but where do I have time for myself? And when do I start prioritizing myself? Because if you don't prioritize yourself, it is going to be a very hard journey and a hard moving forward, if you will, because we need to be our best beings and stuff like that. So it's just really starting to figure out and navigate how you can start taking better care of yourself. So with my session, that don't let weight weigh you down, I feel people often when they start on their journey and stuff like that are very much like, oh, I A, don't have time, B, I've started, but like the numbers on the scale aren't changing and things like that. And it just is like we need to worry about so much more other aspects of uh, parts of our life other than just the number on the scale. And I feel like that's a lot of what people are concentrated on. And we just need to go with other measurements, such as like how you feel, your energy levels, how your clothes are fitting. And we also need to check a realization too of like other things that might be putting stressors onto why maybe weight is affecting us, such as stress and sleep and things like that. So it's just like, starting slowly and stuff like that and getting to where you are feeling comfortable that you can get your time together. So Rose, I'm 54, and would you suggest that how would you suggest that I start? I'm not a big fitness person. My husband is a runner. I just know I need to make it a habit. Yes, and you need to make it a habit and something that I just do. Correct, Rose. So I would say, like, if your husband is an avid runner, and I'm not sure if you are, I have incorporated 20-hour fasts. Um, I'm curious to know how you feel about the fast because I have like, I've worked with a nutrition coach, and sometimes the fasting isn't, I've heard mixed reviews. So I've never personally done it because I can't not go without eating that long. A big thing with women too is that we tend not to eat enough. Therefore, it also has an impact on our weight and our outcome because your body is storing every single nutrient it is getting because it doesn't know when it'll be fed again. You have to realize, like, just breathing and just being sedentary, like it doesn't matter. You should be eating between 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. Um, so it like kind of plus or minus, like it kind of all depends. But we need to make sure that we are fueling our bodies correctly. Because if we aren't, then your body starts holding reserves and it'll hold on to anything that it wants or that it is getting, and it'll kind of hold it in a negative aspect, if you will. So, to start with your first question, Rose, how do you suggest I start? Do you like to walk? That would be my biggest thing. Just start moving your body more. Go for like a 10-15 minute walk a day. And I'm saying, like, if you can, while your husband is out running and stuff like that, like you go for your walk at the same time, kind of thing. Like, kind of make it do a thing together. He can run his route and you walk a little route. Um, I know a great way for me, like to go walking, because in the summer, I feel I need to intentionally go for walks a lot more because I'm not moving as much as I am when I am at school and when I'm teaching and stuff like that. So I don't quite get to where I need to be. Um, but in the summer, I definitely need to intentionally set that forth. So what I do is I find like podcasts that I really like. And the only time I'm allowed to listen to those podcasts are when I am walking. So I just finished one last week, was called Scamanda. So I was like, oh my God. And I like loved it. So I was like, okay, I have to go out for a walk today because I want to hear what happens next. And just kind of associating things like that. I'm just reading what you said here. You've really liked, okay, that's the fasting. I'll come back to that. During this, I start to eat around 4 or 5. Stop by 8 or 9. He runs on the treadmill. Okay. So even if he's running on the treadmill in the morning, like if you can get up kind of at the same time and you could just go for a walk, I would say that that's kind of your best place to start. It's just simple movements. Or even while he is on the treadmill, if you do like, if you kind of want to do it together, you could do body weight movements. Um, while he's on the treadmill, and you can, I don't know, like say if he's in your basement or in your garage or whatever, and you could do some body weight movements such as squats, lunges, push-ups, and not even like a push-up, it could be like a wall push-up, variations of that. Dips on a bench or like something that you can just have a sturdy something with. If you can find like a resistance band, which are very easy, like shoulder presses and stuff like that, or anything that you would have something kind of weight, like even soup cans or like jug milks or something, fill them with water. Just something very to get your body moving a little bit more. And I just feel that starting off slow also is what is key, because if you try to change everything, it doesn't really work. It's like too much and then you give up quickly. So what I say is like try 1 or 2 days a week or 2 or 3 days a week kind of thing, saying like, Kate, on Tuesday, Thursdays, I am going to just get up and go with my husband while he's on the treadmill. I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to do some body weight movements while I am next to him. And just like start there. And then as that becomes a habit, which could take a couple of months, then add something else. Okay, and now I'm doing this Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe once on the weekend now. I add something into my routine, because changing everything at once is not, I find, is very hard for people to stay with the success. Changing one thing, making it a habit, and then adding something else is what how you're going to have better success. So going back to your fasting, you've incorporated, yeah, you really liked it. You fast for 20 hours, and you eat a 4 hour window. So during the school year, you start to eat around 4 or 5 and then stop around 8 or 9. Um, yeah, like, I don't know. I guess it depends too, like how much are you eating? Like, are you tracking your calories during that time? You want to make sure, like I said, that you are eating enough, because if you aren't, your body is really going to store those calories in a depletive ways, meaning like it's going to hold on to everything because it's not getting enough food. So if you're staying in that 1800 to 2000 calorie range, I would say you're like okay. I am not a nutritionist, so I'm not really sure. And it would base on like your successes with that. I just know it's not something that would have worked for me at all, because I kind of have to eat all the time. But that's where I would start with, that is making sure A, you're getting enough, B, that you're getting enough protein as women. And you'll see in the presentation, if you haven't watched it already, or if you did, I have a little section there on protein, and that like we really need to make sure we're incorporating enough protein in our diets to A, keep our muscles building, and B, it just keeps us satiated longer throughout the day. So you're not getting those highs and peaks and lows of like uh like carbs would give you, or that fats and stuff, like you get the insulin and then it crashes, where protein kind of keeps you steady kind of more, and then it'll go down and then it'll bring you back up once you eat again. So really trying to do that. um You've been losing some weight, but just not as quickly as your husband. However, he runs 4 to 5 days. Yeah. And that's also too, and I will tell you, it seems like men, and I've had this discussion a lot, men seem like they say, like, oh, I want to lose weight, and they just automatically like lose it. I don't know what it is. It's like something different about them and the way that they do stuff. Like for them, it seems like it's so much easier all the time. And I've had this discussion even with my nutritionist and my diet coach and all that kind of stuff. Like, and it is true. It's just the way their bodies are metabolized and stuff like that. It just is, it sucks. Let's be honest. And it just is. But like if you, yeah, like if fasting is working for you, then keep it up. I would say then add, if you've been doing this now for a while, now maybe add the movement. So walking or resistance training. And strength training is really good for us as well. Don't worry, you're not going to like bulk up or anything. And again, I do have a section in my presentation about why strength training is so important. And especially for women, like we really we have this like stigma of like, oh my God, I'm going to start lifting weights and I'm gonna like look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that. And trust me, I've been trying to do that now for like 5 years and I'm still not even close. Like it's hard to see. Like my body doesn't like I'm not, and I lift weights every day. And I'm not there. So you won't do that. So even doing like body resistance movement is just a great way like to get your muscles and your body moving, and especially as we age it helps with so many other things, osteoporosis, your heart longevity and stuff like that. So I would say like try to incorporate, or maybe one day do the weights and one day do walking, and see how that incorporates for your schedule. I hope that answers the question, Rose. If you have anything else, let me know. Caroline, I always end up I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything you just wrote. Yeah. So Caroline, I always end up gaining a couple of pounds during stressful months at school. Oh, who doesn't? Even with the eating normal and exercising, do you have any ideas on maintaining weight during stressful periods? It is very hard. And I also am a triggered by stress person. And stress also just maintain like your water levels and stuff like that. Like everybody kind of balloons up, if you will, if they are really stressed. When I was I don't say competed, when I was losing weight for my photo shoot and for my weight loss bodybuilding competition, I kind of talked about those in my presentation as well. I had a very stressful trigger. My mom passed away while I was training for my photo shoot. And I remember talking to my coach, and she kept saying, like, I know this is really hard. And if you don't want to do it, we don't need to do it. But like the stress levels are affecting your outcome, kind of thing. So it's just learning to manage the stress is really, even though you're not changing anything, but there are always going to be stressful periods in our lives. And as long as you're not overeating, or if you are kind of maintaining the same thing, maybe too, with during those stressful periods, getting out to go for a walk a bit more, or just moving your body a bit more so that you can get your like blood flowing and stuff like that, that you can just kind of have it be like, okay, and listen to something calming. I don't know if you do yoga or something like that. Like maybe try doing some of those things, but it is very hard. I still have troubles with it 5 years later. I'm trying to figure out like what works for me. But for me, like going for a walk is like my biggest thing. If I am feeling stressed or anxious or anything like that, if I go for a walk and just kind of like mellow out, and just, it's just like, okay, I can feel my shoulders coming down and I can feel like my heart race coming down, and just like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. And sometimes, often, those walks give me clarity as to what the next step is. And sometimes you're just like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And I have all these things, but it's like, okay, if I get this done, and if I get this done, that is a lot for today. And then tomorrow is a new day. And it's just like reframing your mind as to how the stress is affecting you. I don't know. I hope that hope helps you, Caroline. And Rose sounds great. Good. So hopefully that those things work for you, Rose, and that you can incorporate 2 days of something and just kind of getting that incorporated. Carolyn, is it Carolyn or Caroline? Carolyn is one, Caroline is two. And I'm glad that that helped. Line, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so like, though, it's just really like, and even too, it's learning to listen to our bodies and accept what our bodies need. Like the other day, I had a massive headache for 3 days. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen like, okay, I was talking about it and stuff like, oh, just was like, it was the third day. I was like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do with this. And then I was like, oh my God, it was like the middle of the day. And I'm like, I haven't got to my steps and I haven't, whatever. But I'm also like, you know what? I think my body is also telling me, like, you need to relax, and you need to just sit, and you need to just like breathe, and you need to maybe just have a vegetation day of doing nothing and stuff like that. So sometimes like the stress or whatever it is like also telling you something else, like really listening to your body. And then so that's what I did on Thursday. I just sat, I binge watched TV. I watched White Lotus, if anybody's watched that. It was pretty interesting. So I like binge watched the second season. And then like yesterday, I felt like a new human being. So I was like, you know what? That's probably just what my body needed, was just a really good day of like not doing anything, relaxing and stuff like that. And I feel like as we kind of get older, I know as I get older, I'm like, oh my God, I have so many things to do. I need to do this and I need to do that, that I don't really allow my body to just kind of decompress and just have a chill out day. And I need to realize that I need to do that a little bit more. So that's kind of what I am working on, and not feeling the guilt associated with like, oh, well, I didn't do this. It's just like, you know what? Obviously, my body needs this. And I don't listen to that until something happens. It's like my body hurts, I'm sick, I'm doing whatever. And it's like all these other things that you're just like, okay, this is what you need to do. I don't know. Does anybody else have any other questions? I know our time is like almost up already. Sorry, I was a little bit late and then had some issues with my computer. So, yeah, I hope everybody has been enjoying the conference so far and the different sessions. They've been wonderful. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure if there's anything else. It doesn't seem like there's anything popping up. So, Caroline and Rose, I thank you very much for your questions. And hopefully, if other people kind of were listening and maybe it gave them some information about how, like, we really need to just, and that's my message that I really just want to tell people is like, we really just need to start taking care of ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, how are we supposed to take care of our families? How are we supposed to take care of our students? How are we supposed to take care of all those other things in our lives when this machine is not working properly? Well, thank you so much, Rose and Caroline. Thank you. I am sure you'll rewatch. Perfect. Yes, I'm sure people will rewatch and stuff too. It's always hard to like manage everything. My kids were in tizzy right before I came up, and I was like, I need to go and do this thing. So, like, life happens. We all know that. And yeah, sometimes it is just needing those reminders and just like, oh, yeah, I can do this. And oh, yeah, that's what I need to do. And we think we need to come up with this new formula, but it really is just like, oh, yeah, back to basics. There is so much going on. It's crazy. When do you guys go back to work if you're teachers? Rose and Caroline, I'm not sure, because I know like people in the States go back at a different time than we do here in Canada. And even in my area that I live in, people all go back different days as well. But mostly I find the States goes back in August. Oh, teachers go back August 1st. Whew, you guys are like right around the corner, and students August 8th. Wow, that's like so fast. Crazy. August 21st for you guys, the week before, 2 days. However, I've been working. Yeah, who doesn't work from their classroom throughout the summer? Excellent. Well, we don't go back until my teacher work days are August 30th and 31st, and then the kids don't come back until September 4th. But we also don't finish school. We finished June 28th was our last day. So we're just getting into start. We're almost in the middle of our summer vacation. Yeah. And the kindergarten rooms, this is total side note. You guys don't even need to know. I can't even go into my classroom and set it up because our classroom last April flooded. And so they had to do all this work, and they don't even know if our classrooms are going to be ready for our kindergarten classes. So I might be going into just whatever. I don't even know. There's three of us who teach kindergarten, and we're just kind of patiently waiting to see what's going to happen. We moved to a 4-day school week. So oh, that's awesome. Always a 4-day school week. I'm curious to know how that will work. Oh, and your last day was May 25th. I know us teachers roll like, and it's like pivot, 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 do whatever. So yes, that was total sidetrack. Sorry guys. I get sidetracked very easily. That's also part of the um roll, the way it rolls, I guess. So yeah. Yeah, that's I'm yeah, very curious. And you guys also have a 4-day work school week. Huh. So what time do you guys like go? How long are your days then? I know I am very squirrel. What time do you start in the morning and what time do you finish? We have a lot of like 4-day, but we have a lot of PD days in the districts around here. 7:50 to 3:50. Wow, that's a long day. Last year we started at 8:10 and ended at 3:35. Wow. But then I guess you're getting all your minutes in and stuff like that. Yeah, that's for the students. So I can't imagine what time you guys as teachers are showing up and stuff like that. Craziness. Well, I'm curious, yeah, to see if like productivity and stuff like that increases with the students, but I don't know. It's kind of like that 50-50, an earlier morning and a later day, longer days. Is it really